Do you suffer from debilitating migraines? You know, that throbbing pain in the front or side of your head that's so severe you're unable to work or do anything other than retreat into a dark and quiet room? Have you had them for years and just haven't found a solution? Call Dr. Elizabeth Eversole and put an end to your debilitating migraines forever. Or go to her website at www.handmadehealth.com. That's www.handmadehealth.com.
Fade in.
Well, hello, everybody. Merry Christmas to all and Happy New Year to everyone. This is Balls to the Wall, episode number 15 here at Erica C. My buddy Billy Martin Jr. How are you guys doing? Hope you had a great holiday, even though it was warm.
It's still warm. I mean, are you kidding me? I'm texting people all over the country. Hey, what's it like there today? 75 degrees and sunny. Yeah, that means we got the big freeze coming next, right?
Yeah.
Well, I heard it's supposed to get a little cooler for a couple of days, but then it goes back up again. So, on the high 70s again. So I don't know. I mean, I went for a jog yesterday and I thought it was May. I did. I was like, gosh. I said, it's supposed to be Christmas time, right? But anyhow, I'm glad you guys. Erica, how was your holiday?
It was good. Didn't feel like Christmas, but it was good. It all came and went so fast. So
It doesn't feel like it at all. I mean, well, you remember Saturday when we were at the state championship game? I mean, it was cold that Saturday night.
mhm.
It was kind of cold on that Sunday, and then we get back from New
It
Orleans.
got hot.
It's 75 degrees, and you're sweating. I'm like,
I know.
are you kidding me?
I went to the Tyler State Park yesterday, and there's people swimming in the lake in their swimsuits, just swimming, having fun. I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, it's 80 degrees, so do whatever.
Only in Texas. Well, hey, we were remiss to ask, how did you do, Billy, at WinStar? Last time we had a pod, you were about to go load up on there, get on them tables. So did you bring back some Oklahoma money?
I did bring back a little Oklahoma money, but weird reason. First of all, I could not ever get on a blackjack table.
That crowded?
No, they didn't have that many tables open. It was
Gotcha.
slot machine city. So I played a little baccarat, which I'm not a baccarat guy, but I know it's got good player odds, but I'm taking guesses here and there.
Right.
And I had the rudest dealer, and I'm literally the only guy tipping her, right? And she said something like, hurry the hell up, or something like that. And I said, I'm the only person at this table tipping you, and I will never tip you again because you're the meanest person in this damn room, right? Well, then I go to cash out 2 hands later, and she accidentally pays me an extra $50.
Wow.
So I forgave her. But go figure.
I always thought dealers should be nice to people, especially when you're raking their money back towards you, because if you're nice, they may throw you the occasional bone, But I said, if you're mean as a snake the whole time, raking up your money, man, you're out of there to the next table with the quickness.
Well, Danny Mantle hit a big slot. He won like 5 or 6 grand.
Nice.
And he shared some of that with me, and so I turned that into more money. So I
Good.
did come home with an extra $550, but
Hey,
but my brakes went out the next day, so That was 975.
What's up with brakes? My brakes actually went out the day of us when I saw you, Erica, Saturday. So I had to
Oh, so it was
$428.
Erica's fault on yours too.
Yeah, dude, it's my
Sorry.
fault. It's my fault. I was like, are you kidding me? Well, hey, we appreciate everybody listening to us. We're back and rolling again here. We hope everybody had a wonderful holiday and a safe one. And we'd love for you guys to subscribe to us on YouTube and Rumble. Just click on the subscription there. Takes maybe 5 seconds to do. We'd really appreciate it. Please also leave us any feedback or any suggestions on what you would like to go to for us to talk about coming up in the new year. And we always bring that on because we want this to be entertaining for you guys. We're going to try our best to keep politics out of it. That was one rule that we did when we started this. We felt like there's enough politics on CNN and Fox News. So if you want that, go to your TV set, but you're not going to get it here. We may talk vaccine every now and then when it's, appropriate, but we know how everybody kind of feels about that too. So we know that's a hot button. Also like us on Twitter and Facebook. We'd appreciate that also. And our first topic today, we'd really like to talk about, and I know Erica we worked for FridayNightGlory.com and we got to cover the state championship in football last weekend, or the weekend before, I should say. And that was a pleasure. I mean, we got 12 games in 4 days. It was a great time. I mean, but the biggest story I think is for locally here is that South Oak Cliff gets off the snide. DISD finally wins the state championship. First time since 1958 that a DISD school has won a state championship in football. I mean, what a wonderful story. I got to talk to Coach Jason Todd afterwards, and he told me some of the hurdles that he had to deal with this year, just economically. Family life for a lot of kids, is not ideal. And, he had to really try to rein all that in and keep everybody focused. So I thought he did a really good job in this. It might have been genius. They rented out a hotel the night before. And he said the reason he did that is he says, I felt like I can get everybody away from their family or whatever they're dealing. And he said a lot of kids may have been the best bed they've ever slept on was a hotel bed. That really kind of knocked me over a little bit because I think we all kind of get jaded and just think that everybody's got a nice bed and a warm bed or whatever. And he's battling life on life's terms. And then you have to try to beat somebody's state championship game at the same time. So, I mean, it's a wonderful story. They had a great parade. I mean, he had a great 8 days. He wins the state championship on Saturday. He has a parade on Tuesday. His birthday was on Wednesday. And he's at the Cowboy game yesterday. And he's at a Mav game, I believe, on Thursday. So, I mean, I said, wow. I said, what a great stretch. And then Christmas, nonetheless. But anyway, I think it's a wonderful story. And I think it's wonderful for the community of Dallas that community really got around South Oak Cliff and really followed them throughout. And, that sometimes the means don't make it that way, but they made it work. They traveled to Abilene the week before, had big following out there. And when they won out there. So, I really wanted to kind of share that with you guys and have any thoughts with you guys about that, because I really think it's a great story. And I'll start with you, Erica.
I was excited for them, especially since a lot of them, it was their last years, or like just because of some of the stories I've heard about it. I just think that it was something that was truly awesome for them. And I know that some of them, like some people were giving them hate for winning and stuff like that. I saw some stuff on Twitter, but I was like, just be proud of them. Like they did great. They deserved it. They fought hard to win that state championship game. So I was excited that they won.
Absolutely. And for you, Billy.
Think about this, guys. 1958. Okay. Think about how long ago that is, because we're talking about the second largest district in the state of Texas, right? The Houston School District's the only one that's bigger than Dallas.
Right.
And
22 team DIST is 22 DISD schools. 22.
I mean, that's insane. I mean, it really is. I mean, that it's been that long. I think somebody needs to look into why that is, because
well, we have to remember Carter did win a state championship, but it was pulled from them, so there is a quotation that Carter won in 1988, but still it's not listed as a UIL state championship, so that's why it goes back to 58. But in this day and age, when a lot of people are moving out of the inner city, their numbers are down. For you to go through a 16-game schedule like that with numbers being down, and how physical football can be, that's just a lot of people stepping up and and making do when they had to. And Jason Todd, he's a South Oak Cliff grad himself. He's a Dallas guy through and through. I mean, he repeatedly told me that in the interview. He says, I only coached in Dallas schools. I've only liked Dallas teams. And so for him, he got there in 2015. And I asked him a little bit. So I think one of the big things, they got a new weight room 2 years ago. That's just a state of the art. I mean, it's a Prosper-esque type deal, whatever, and it's, and he said that was one of the keys, is that you now had the proper equipment to train his people year round, and they could come up there and do things on their own. He says it was a great diversion for a lot of them because it kept them off the streets. It kept them away from maybe some bad characters or whatever. And he said that was huge for them to have that kind of facility for him, because he said it was porous before.
Well, it's something they should be very proud of. I mean, my sons are 22 and 23 now, but they played Pop Warner football.
Yeah.
And it's so much better football than the Arlington Optimists or the other leagues around here. And our team won state 3 different times. Okay. But the best team we always played every year was the South Oak Cliff team. And we still, my boys and I still talk about it, on how fast those kids were, how good they were, how lucky we were to beat them, because that was way harder than winning state.
Sure.
For us. And it's nice to see that come to fruition, because we talked about that a lot as kids growing up. We played teams from Aledo and all these different areas that really have great high school programs.
Sure.
I never thought they did, and well, they showed me.
Well, the difference to me also was going from sideline to sideline is the language from one sideline to the other from the coaches. They coach them a little different in South Oak Cliff than they did in Liberty Hill. And you didn't miss it. It was just commonplace. It's like, I laughed so hard. I was going, okay, this is X-rated. This is the G-rated side. Let me make sure I play audio down on this side. But yeah, it was a tremendous story, and it was wonderful that the starting quarterback Kevin Henry Jennings, he's going to be going to SMU on a football scholarship after he was the offensive most valuable player. And talk about a guy that was really, really, really just a pleasure to talk with. I mean, it was never about him. It was all about his team. It was all about the coach. He didn't want to talk about himself at all in the interview at all. And, he deflected that. And it's nice to see 18-year-olds do that, because I know, Erica, I know Billy and I get on your generation a lot about not appreciating things and not respecting things.
No, you're totally right.
But I'd want to give kudos when it is kudos there, because he really was. I mean, it was a pleasure, because, you just don't see enough of that anymore. And to a T, in all the interviews that we did do and talking with them, they all were very respectful. So, and I told Coach Todd, I said, that starts at the top with you.
That's very true.
Really does. But yeah, I really do. It was a wonderful story. And we'll go to topic number 2. And this is one that's really got me. And Eric and I were talking a little bit before you got on, Billy. It's COVID is back. It's ravaging our sports all over again. I was talking to Eric. It seems like every notification I get on my phone, it's somebody in a COVID protocols or health protocols. And I can't even keep up with, well, this person's got to be 5 days. This person's got to be 10 days. I mean, are we getting to a point where if you're vaccinated and you're asymptomatic, can we just play anyway? Because it looks like we're just going to come down with this thing like the regular flu bug or anything else going forward anyway. I mean, do we really have to just shut everything down because of this? I'm just asking, for discussion type, because I'm tired of it. I mean, I'm tired of it. I've got 2 years of COVID fatigue. I'm done with it. You know,
Mhm.
really, really am.
I think we're all done with it. I mean, this is terrible. And what's the solution? I mean, in football, can they wear a whole face mask? Cover the whole face? Hell. But I don't know. This is nuts, and it just feels like it's about to get worse.
Mhm.
Yeah, it does. I mean, Erica, you were at the Cowboy game yesterday, and you said that you and your boyfriend were one of the few that wore a
Yeah.
mask, and we got 90,000 people in there. So, I mean,
Yep.
we know there was some COVID in Jerry World yesterday.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, there was, I'm sure. Yeah, I feel like at this point, it's people just making their own personal choice on if they want to, I guess, keep others safe. I don't know, but this sports is getting ruined again. Like I know UNT, they've had to cancel a few games and because of COVID, not from like UNT players, but just like other players from other teams, and they've had to cancel a bunch of tournaments. And so then that cancels stuff for me because I have to work there. And it's just like I don't get money, so it's just kind of a bummer sometimes. But
Let me ask you, Erica, this in your generation, how are they feeling about COVID and the protocols, wearing a mask, not wearing a mask? Is it just, I mean, I know that some of the people that I've talked with in your age group, they feel a little invincible because they're young. They said, even if I get it, no big deal. You know,
yeah.
I'll be sick for a couple of days, then I got 6 months. I mean, immunity, I'm fine. They roll with it like a sinus infection or anything else. Is that kind of maybe what it's like, or maybe you could set me straight on that?
Yes and no. I feel like it is for a select few. And then like for me, like both my parents were sick with COVID really badly. So
Right,
yeah,
that's
I
why
am extra safe
too
about
close
it.
to home. I forgot.
Yeah. And then even before like COVID hit my house, like I was always safe about it because of my mom, because she doesn't have the best immune system. Like I've always been safe about it, especially like going to UNT. Everybody's like, wear your mask, wear your mask, wear your mask. But then you go out somewhere else and it's like there's kids that don't care. So it's like I guess it just depends on where you come from or like where you live or where you go to school and stuff like that. But there's definitely a big divide between that.
Sure. Billy,
You know,
it's tough.
I mean, I go back and forth. Like I said earlier, I was even working with one of my clients' fathers. They do red light technology and all these different things. And one of the things that I thought made sense, especially in football, you see how many guys you see just wear a plastic plexus shield over their face mask. Well, how about we make the whole thing actually come down to about, I don't past their chin, okay?
That's
And
fine.
some you'll have to straight out because you're gonna spit on it, you're gonna sneeze on it,
Yeah.
you're gonna spit on,
Yeah.
something you can easily take on and off. That's a
Grow up
mask.
in it.
Still have that area where you can breathe, where air's coming in,
Sure.
but nobody will spit in your face. You won't be able to spit on anybody else.
Right.
Sneeze.
Right.
That's so much of it that, I mean, all the rest, what else can you really do? You're going to tackle guys. You're going to have some skin to skin contact, but that's not where you get it. You get it by spewing on somebody else or them spewing on you, or you touching it and touching your face.
Right.
So put gloves on, everybody, and put that on, and let's go play some ball.
Well, I mean, I think that one of the things is that, what I said, just play through it all. I mean, with this, with the Omicron variant, it's a weaker, strain, and each strain going forward is going to get weaker. They don't get stronger. Sooner or later, don't you just kind of plow through and just play it? I mean, we have guys playing with the flu. They got 102 temperatures sometimes in games. We call them gamers. We salute them. I mean, especially if you're asymptomatic, I don't see why, you can't participate if you don't have any symptoms. Because, Baker Mayfield had a great point. I'm completely healthy and I can't play. And it cost his team a ball game that, they desperately needed for the playoffs. Now they're on there. Now they're the outside looking in, and he could have made the difference in that game for them to win. And it comes down to just protocols. I mean, with things changing so much in here and with them, everybody being so young, don't you just you're rolling the dice anyway. I mean, you're rolling the dice every day at practice. You're rolling the dice in team meetings. You're rolling the dice on the bus. I don't know, maybe I'm being too carefree about it. I'm sure a doctor will call me and say, hey, you shouldn't be so cavalier. But I just think sooner or later, you just got to plow through it, because you can't just have all these hiccups and all these people in and out of the protocol left and right. I mean, who's keeping count with all this stuff? That's what I'd like to know. Who's going, all right, he can't come back till December 6th. This person can't come back till January. I mean, that's a roll check, that you got to be dealing with that you shouldn't be dealing with.
Well, we didn't shut down anything for swine flu, right? I mean, nothing. And it was terrible. My girlfriend's son lost his lung to the swine flu back in 2008 when he was 11 years old. Okay. I mean, it was, but when we shut everything down, we're not letting the virus run its course. We're not building up the herd immunity.
Right.
And
right.
I think this could go on forever if we keep hiding from it.
Well, I think I think that eventually it's going to be, you're going to take your flu shot, you're going to take your COVID shot every year, and just be about and be done with it. At the same time, I think that's where it will come to. But in the end, at least the variants now are coming out. It doesn't seem to be as strong. It's not hospitalization. It's not, overflooding the hospitals right now with big surges. Yeah, the cases may be up. And yeah, us not having kits to test, kind of hurts too, because you got a lot of people think that they have it, don't know because they can't get tested, so, but I mean, you and I, we all know it harvests kind of in the winter months anyway, when everybody's indoors. And then once everybody starts getting back outside again, the numbers go back down. I just think it's going to be kind of a seasonal thing going forward anyway. I mean, and again, I know, Erica, you and your parents, I mean, they had it bad. Your mom had it really bad. So, I'm not trying to make this light by any chance, but, there, people that have some situations like that with their immune system, they need to be extra cautious. They need to be extra cautious. You have some parents that are old, you need to be cautious around them. I get that part of it. For these 23 and 25-year-olds tackling each other playing basketball, it's 48 hours and they're fine, if that. It's just weird. But yeah, it was funny. I kept thinking about that over the weekend, going, every time my notification comes up, it's somebody in the protocol. I'm like,
I've probably gotten
who's not playing, I don't know. It's weird, man. And you got bowl games getting canceled. A&M got caught where they didn't have a quarterback. So that was probably the reason why they really pulled out, because their backup quarterback went into the portal. So, they basically didn't have a quarterback to play. So that's why they pull out of there. So I can't imagine how much money goes into those bowl games. And then for you not to produce the game itself.
I know that's
somebody's taking it in the shorts, man.
Well, think about this. So, I mean, one of the teams that I know canceled, and it may have been A&M, said they only had 13 defensive players. For all the money they're going to lose, why don't you go for it? Why don't you give it a try anyways? I mean, think about, have you seen the movie 12 Mighty Orphans?
Yes.
I mean, that's a true story, okay?
Yes.
That was a 12-man football team that won the state championship of Texas, okay?
Their depth is one.
You can figure it out. For the money they're losing, you've got your built-in excuse. Hey, we lost half our team to COVID. Yeah. But at least we went out there and fought. At least we went out there and tried. How do you look your alumni in the eye and say, we just didn't want to do it?
Yeah, especially if it's some of their last years to play and it's their last game they don't get to. It's kind of a bummer.
Excellent. I think you're absolutely right on that, Eric. I think the seniors that have missed out, they're thinking, hey, I've got one more time to lace them up.
Hmm.
You know, I'm not going pro. This is over. I'm graduating, whatever. And then you pull the rug from underneath them at the last minute. You know, God, that's brutal. You know, all
It is,
because
yeah.
of COVID. You know, it's not because they were injured or whatever may be the case. You know, and a lot of times it's just because you've been exposed to COVID.
Hmm.
Now, that doesn't even mean that you actually have it, you know, but they're like, hey, you got to go to isolation for 5 or 6 days or whatever, you know, and that's just hard on them. I feel horrible for those seniors. I mean, I think you make an excellent point on that, Eric. I really do. But we do appreciate you listening to us here on Balls to the Wall, episode 15. We appreciate if you can subscribe to us on YouTube and Rumble, and please like us on Facebook and Twitter. And hey, we're always open to comments when you want to bring good material to you guys. So please let us know. If you want something you hate, you can tell us too. We're good. We got some thick skin. We're all right. We can handle it. We feel like Rocky a little bit. We're all right. I saw Rocky over the weekend, so pardon me. Yes. And we'd like to talk about this, and I'm glad Erica's here Tuesday. It's a Cowboy game yesterday. Erica got to go to the game yesterday, and I told her before her coat ice melted, it was already 21-0. I mean, the Cowboys, you had all that talk last week about Dak's slump and the offense and Cooper not wanting to be involved anymore. He's disgruntled, not running the football. Boy, everything seemed to be cured by the WFT team coming into town last night.
Yeah.
And man, it was over before they got off the team plane, I think, yesterday.
Mhm.
It was a focused Cowboy team. They seemed like they were really into it. The defense played extremely well. Now I will be the bearer of trying to keep the feet on the floor a little bit, because I don't think the WF team is very good. I don't think the Giants are very good. And so, you know, the last couple of weeks, yeah, you beat up on some people that I don't think are very competitive anyway. But still, you did exactly what you're supposed to do to a bad football team. You boat raced them, and that's what they did last night. Erica?
I thought it was a really good game to actually be. I mean, yeah, it kind of sucked because it was a blowout, but they beat Dak beat a lot of records. They scored the most points they've scored since like the 80s, I think. And it was a good game to be at, to see them play really well, see them all work together pretty well. Seeing Dak throw to each position on offense was pretty cool, and making those touchdowns. I mean, the crowd was great. I mean, everybody was hype, but I mean, I think it was just a good game to be at, even though it kind of sucked for the Washington fans. But
Oh, well, yeah, you know, Billy, I mean, we've talked kind of back and forth since the beginning of the year. We said Cowboys at times, they looked like the best team in NFL at times. Then they looked like they didn't have a clue for a stretch there. Seemed to be getting everybody healthy, Billy. So, you know, that's another key element there. And, you know, I mean, you can say what you want to about the schedule, you still got to play it. I mean, and so, you know, you can always take a team lightly, and all of a sudden you look up and you could be like Tampa Bay was last Monday when they played against the Saints and lose nothing, you know, so you still got to win the games, and that's huge.
Oh, absolutely. You know, something else too, they keep talking about Dak's slump, and whoa, how about catch the damn football? He's had so many drops in the last few games that then when he does miss a pass or make a bad throw, it just puts that much more, you know, stress on it. But I'm sorry, we didn't do that yesterday. The Cowboys were making those plays.
Absolutely.
They caught almost every pass that hit them in the hand or the helmet, and it made a big difference. But everything clicked. Oh, the defense was insane yesterday. I mean, Diggs is just Dion Jr.
Everybody's happy about Diggs except Everson Walls.
yeah.
That's a long time to have a record, you know?
Yeah.
And you just don't see double-digit interceptions from defensive backs anymore. Back in the day, that was more prevalent, but with the way the passing game is now, you know, it's so sophisticated. I mean, if you have 4 or 5 in a year, that's considered very good. Better yet, double digits. I mean, sooner or later, you just got to think, well, I'm not going to throw that way. It doesn't make any sense because it's going to come back my way with him holding the ball, not my receiver. Yes, their defense was extremely good. I thought they were really locked in yesterday. And again, I think the WF team is a little spotty at best. I think on offense, they don't have a whole lot of weapons. I don't think so. I mean, you could take some chances on defense. Erica, how was the crowd? Because it seemed like the crowd was pretty good on TV last night. How was it there at the stadium?
It was good. Everybody was super loud. Everybody was pumped, even though they were winning by so much. Like then people started leaving like in the fourth quarter, but it was great to actually see them still cheering the Cowboys on, even though they were beating the crap out of Washington. But it was good. It was fun. It was a fun game to go to. So
right. Well, Billy, I know for you, I mean, you've always said, hey, let's run the football. And it seemed like they were getting some yards running the football last night too.
Yeah, and Pollard wasn't even 100%, right?
yeah.
And either Zeke.
Yeah, it's been, to me, it's so funny how people get so excited about him. And I love it too, but I love the fact that they're a tandem.
Right.
Because they are so different. And Zeke's not as sexy sometimes to watch because he's just moving this whole pile of guys.
Mm-hmm.
But if you watch Zeke, he's always headed north. He's always going forward. He always takes that pile and falls down a little bit more forward. And there's a lot to be said for that. Absolutely. And then when you see that scat back, the quick guy coming in behind him,
yeah,
it's such a nice 2-team punch that I love it. And I love seeing them start to come together. Obviously, it'd be nice to play Washington the next 2 games, but we'll see what happens.
They had more fight on their own sideline than they did on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even understand that, but whatever.
I'm thinking, why aren't you hitting the guys with the star on their helmets instead of the I know frustration comes from everything, but I'm going, well, okay, coach has got to be going, Ron Rivera's got to be going, where was this? Out there. Why does America got to see my own team fighting each other, on a Sunday night game nonetheless? So we're only going to have 25 million people watching this. Don't worry about embarrassing the team or nothing. But yeah, I think the Cowboys are in a good spot. I really do. Mm-hmm. I mean, they control their destiny, at least getting a number 2 seed and, having, first couple playoff games at home, so that's huge also when you don't have to go on the road. Mm-hmm. If you try to space it out and say maybe they'll have to go to Lambeau in late January, I tell people all the time, is it easy to go to Lambeau in October or September? Yes, it doesn't matter. It's just tough. Yes, it's going to be cold. There's no question, but it doesn't matter as long as Aaron Rodgers is there. It's a tough place to win anyway. So, but you just got to stay one game at a time anyway for them, and you got to build off of last night. It'll be really interesting to see what they do against the Giants if they have that same kind of fire next week against the Giants. Then you say, okay, well, we're peaking at the right time.
Well, yeah. I'll tell you what, if we do play Green Bay in that big game, and we might, I think we're really going to see what our head coach is made out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because if there's anybody that knows those guys,
yes,
their strengths and weaknesses, what they want to do, we should have a big advantage there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should.
For sure.
And it'll be interesting to see if he says anything about all the rumors we've heard over the years.
Yes. Well, hey guys, I see we have less than a minute left here I guess it's on the timer today. I don't know why it's on the timer today. We need more time. But hey guys, we appreciate you listening to us on Balls of the Wall, episode number 15. We will be back with you guys next week. Have a safe New Year's.
Fade in.